Okay, here we go. Another daily pattern. Today's pattern is Akoya, A-K-O-Y-A. I have done this one before. Haven't been overly successful with it. I want to see if I can change it a little bit so that I feel more comfortable with it. So, let's see. You start with a row of circles. And then you do this shape this S shape that goes along kind of like beginning cadent. And then you do it again, making this, it's almost an aura. And then you go with these little dots around the outside on both the top and the bottom, and then you fill in the middle and then color it all in. So your aim is for that, with these big pearls cascading down into smaller ones. We'll see what I get. I think what my problem was when I got to this step, I had it too small and this was too tight. I really didn't care much for it, and I don't think I started with big enough dots last time. So I'm going to adjust that a little bit and see what I end up with. So let's do a row of dots, and I'm going to make them fairly far apart. They don't have to be in an exact row. They can be slightly curved. Actually, I think I may do that. Let me think about this for a second. I think I'm going to curve around. I'm going to make this, and then this is going to go this way. Yeah. And this way. And this way. Okay. I have decided that it's going to go like this. It's going to loop around like that. Alright, so then this needs to be sort of cadent-like, starting here and making this S shape. I'm going to make it a little bit loopier than I had done before. And the last time I drew it, it wasn't quite so loopy, and I think that might have been part of my issue. Not sure, but it might have been. It's a busy day in my neighborhood. I think before I do this, I want to do this fully so I know where the next step is going to be. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to go and do this. That's still not quite right. I've done something not quite right, but I'm not too sure what I've done not quite right. Well, that's all right. We will just live with what it is. Anyway, I was saying it's kind of a noisy day in my neighborhood. Most likely because it's the first day. It hasn't been like a bazillion degrees. It's nice out today. Okay, so then I want to finish this before I continue with that. So next step is to go along here and make them progressively smaller as I go, which I think something like that. I'm not going small enough soon enough. Well, you kind of end up with trial and error with trying to figure out when to make your things smaller, where exactly to go with them. Okay. Oops, I got too small too soon. That's all right. This will just be tiny. Yeah, I'm not doing a very good job of figuring out one to the other. I must be trying to go too fast. Okay, I'm gonna pause that for just a second and I'm gonna go the other way. So I want to go, that's big, I want to make it smaller going this way. And that's part of my problem is I'm trying to hurry and rush. I really shouldn't be. It doesn't make any difference how long I take. So this one's going to be a challenge. Okay. So now that I've gotten that one done, I can finish this shape. That's more of the shape I was hoping for these. These ended up too skinny. I wanted it more big like that, but it's not how I ended up, so it is what it is. Let's see. Now where was I? Oh yeah, I was going this way. You just have to kind of be careful when you're going to plan an overlap like that to stop and think and make sure it's done. If I'd continued and finished that, then this wouldn't have been able to overlap that properly. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to get a little creative and do overlap. You really need to think about where you're placing your first top elements so that the bottom ones go the way they're supposed to. Okay, and then that one would have them going this way. Bigger to smaller. And then this direction. Something like that. I feel like feel like it's a little weird. Like it needs something else. I'm gonna add one more I'm going to add one here. And I'm going to add one over here, I think. Something like that. Ooh, poked myself. Yeah. That one I got too small too soon. They ended up really teeny tiny over there. I did not care much for that, but that's all right. We'll kind of disguise it somehow. Okay, well that's a little bit better. I was not liking the big empty spots there, and I think I still want it to go here. And I'm not going to do those ones in the middle. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put one right here, a big one, going here. Just a single one. Like that. And this one I maybe will do the interior part and then see how I like it. What's that look like? That's not so bad. I wished I'd done that first. Oh well. Live and learn. I'm going to do the same right here. Somehow I feel like it's not quite balanced. Trying to make this a monotangle, not add another tangle to it, but I don't know. I may add something else just to give it some interest. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Oops. I probably stuck my finger right in the middle where you couldn't see what I was doing. Sorry. Alright. Okay, I like that better. Still need something here. I'm gonna do one more. Something like that. Okay, that looks better. I keep looking up at it on the screen, and that looks better. And then it shows us doing one's in the middle here. And filling in all of this. We'll see what that looks like with this one. I don't know why I thought I wouldn't like that. I do like it. I like it a lot. So who knows? I don't remember when was the last time I did this, and maybe I did it completely not according to the step outs. I might have tried to do it by memory, which could explain a lot of why I don't think I did it right last time. Okay, that's not bad. I don't know why I didn't like it the first time. So we're gonna go ahead and just follow this. And fill in. This might take a minute or two to complete, so won't hurt my feelings if you're fast forwarding, because I totally would. If I was watching somebody else's video, I would totally be fast forwarding through this part. Am I doing that part right? I'm not sure. Who knows? I think so. Should be biggest in the middle here. That one, my loop didn't make biggest in the middle. My loop was bigger at the one end, so that's how I drew it. This goes with this. So when you're doing these coloring in these bits, you can fix your wonky circles. Just fill that in a little bit more. Absolutely, you can. I need. Just gonna go this way. That big one in the middle. Work my way down. Not too sure why, but it seems to be that the children in the neighborhood are not in school at the moment. I think they should be. Apparently, they're not. Okay. Something like that. Very tipple-like with all these circles and filling ins. So if you like doing tipple as a pattern, you will probably enjoy this one quite a bit. It takes just slightly more thought though than tipple does, because you have to keep track of your different S shapes. Like I have to keep track of where to fill in with my black, just so I don't lose my shape. Okay. This one I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Oops. So these patterns that have a lot of intricate, especially the ones where you fill in with a lot of black, they do take longer to draw. The ones that are more bold or basic are faster to draw, so they would be faster video to watch. This is just the nature of the beast here. So, okay, so I want to go this way. So when I'm all finished, this is probably going to look like a string of pearls that's been beaded into this twisty rope thing, hopefully. That's been just kind of plopped onto this page, all curled up around itself, like somebody's just taken it off and just thrown it up on the dressing table, into the jewelry box, just kind of dropped in there. So far so good? Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Next, over here. I was gonna leave the ribbons like that, but they disappear completely once you fill in with the black. So I'm going to continue with that. I was tempted to not do all this black. And I don't know why all of a sudden I've stopped putting a lot of black into my work, because I really like when I see other people and they have a lot of the black filled in. I really like what it looks like, but for some reason I've kind of stopped doing it in my own. Perhaps I've become impatient, because it does take longer. I have been working on a couple of things. I've been working on a new pattern, which I actually developed this summer when I was on vacation. I just haven't sat down to draw the step outs for it yet. I was working on that this weekend. I'll get it out there eventually. Step out work just takes a lot longer just because you want to make it more perfect since you're making it as a step out, and you have to do all the different steps with the black pen and the red pen, and sometimes I get all mixed up and then I just start all over again. And yeah, step outs are not as easy as they look. So kudos to those people who are pattern designers and do a lot of step out work. Of course, after I did my first one and got it all submitted, I found out that I could just cross out the step that was a boo-boo, and they just wouldn't include it, and they would just cut it out of my page. So I didn't have to start my page all over again. That was a blessing. Sometimes you forget to use the red pen since you're not used to using the red pen often. I need to continue these. I didn't get them down into this corner enough. There, that's better. Oh, I didn't do them over here at all. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so this one would be a bigger one, right? And then it would go to smaller at this side. Yeah. All right. Something like that. Okay, it's a little complicated underneath. I maybe didn't need to do them that way, but that's what I did. See how this turns out. Be careful not to fill in what I don't want to fill in. That's a circle from there. That's from there. Careful with my half circles that I don't accidentally fill them in because they don't look like circles. But I have half circles for where it's overlapping. Okay, one more, and then I can do some shading. I think I got a little too intricate with this one. I got carried away with the overlap. I really didn't need to do that. I could have just done it as a straight. Just It's more of a ribbon tangle and less trying to get carried away and fancy with it. Oh well. You know, if I can do it, I could do it overdone. That's me. Alright, so that's not so bad. Interesting. Now it's all whichever direction. I'm not sure which direction. I'm just gonna sign it and I'm gonna put Akoya. There's the name, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of shading. I'm going to decide, I have to decide which direction because they should all be shaded from the same angle. Guess I'll do here. I'll put the pencil on the bigger ones, and then for the smaller ones I'll just take my blending stump and then just blend a little bit with whatever's left over on the stump, because that will be sufficient. I don't need to go in there with all the pencil with the tiny little ones. Just make sure all your shading is kind of all going the same way. And then right here where I've got the one overlapping the other, I'm going to have to put a little shading on the whole thing. Right, like that. Same thing here. This one goes overlapping right there. And I'll come back in with my blending stump, get those all blended in, they'll look better. You'll notice I'm not turning my tile so I don't get confused as to which direction. I'll probably turn it when I'm blending, but I won't turn it as I'm drawing it, just so my pencil is all going the same angle, same direction on every one of these little pearls or blobs or stones or whatever they are. That makes my shading all be on the same plane. Now this is where it's overlapping. To find those overlapping spots and make sure I get the shaded, and then right here as well. That one right there. Okay, so now for blending. Now I can turn my tile, because I like to put my point toward the or the line that I drew. That way I don't smear outside my drawing. So I'm usually shading upside down from how I drew the pencil, most of the time anyway. And can you see the difference where I've started blending compared to over here where I haven't? Let me get it closer. Can you see that? This, you have the bit of the shadow there, but where I've blended it, it really looks different. Oh, you can see both of them here, and there. See how that makes a difference? Oops. Right there. I've blended these two, but I haven't blended those yet. And it definitely makes a difference. The blending stump is a magical little thing. It's just some compressed paper is all that it is. Is all that it is. It's just compressed paper. but it's beautiful. And they're cheap. That's the best part about them is go to your local art supply store, wherever you get your stuff, whether it's here in the States, it's going to be Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's. Most of the time, some of you are lucky enough to be near actual art stores like Dick Blick's or one of those. Lucky you. I am not. So most of my art materials either come from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. My local Joann's, not so good. I have one a little further away, and sometimes I will go there. But the closest one, unless you want little kids Crayolas or something, that one just doesn't have much in the way of art supplies. Not too sure why. But anyway, I can get a package of these. You can get a pack that just has the skinny ones, or you can get a pack that has a great big one, all the way down to teeny tiny. I've done both. It just depends on what's on sale, what they happen to have in stock. They last a long time. If you clean off the tips, if you need to clean off your tips, or if they've gotten kind of dull and you want them to be a little pointier, just use an emery board or a piece of sandpaper and just clean off your tip and then go back to town. They just seem to last forever. As a matter of fact, most of the time when I need a new one, it's not because it's not because it's not useful anymore. It's usually because I can't find it. I have gone and lost it. I've taken it with me on the road, or I've dropped it behind the sofa, or whatever it is. I can't find it, so that's usually why I have to buy a new one. A little bit more just on these ones. Alright, there we go. I think I did that pretty well. I really like it. I didn't think I would like it, but I do. So, you know, you never know when you're drawing if something is going to appeal to you or not until you're done. Enjoy your afternoon, folks.